What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Paintball Lounge. But this time it's a little bit different. Usually we will go like do interviews or live stream, but this time we're gonna do it a little bit different. Uh, this is gonna be the backstory about um, my career as two teams. Like finding being one of the founders of two teams, which is the 13 Dogs and the Aces and Eights. The reason why I'm doing it is because someone asked me a question like, "What's the backstory of between these two teams that I was in?" So, and that's why I'm like, I might as well do it like a kind of like a video or just an episode in general about it. The whole backstory about why do I came up with the 13 Dogs and the Aces and Eights. So let's get started with the first one I've done, which is the 13 Dogs. So the 13 Dogs started around, I think it was in 2021. It was brand new, and the idea came from, shout out to Ugly Paintball, because they made the jersey of the 13 Dogs. But the whole idea was like there was a three-man tournament at Paintball Republic. Shout out to you, Brock. Um, it was the first three-man tournament that they were hosting. And at first, I wanted to name known as the Nightwalkers or something like that, because that was the jersey I have that I still have to this day. That's my personal jersey. There was no team. I just wanted to put something there, and the logo of the dog or the wolf, and there's a claw mark on the back, was perfect. Well, so I wanted to play the three man, and I was like, okay, let's get some people. And the first two that came to mind was Paul Head, shout out to you, Paul, and Gary Carbone, shout out to you, man. And then we had another guy named Lennox Shaw. All three of them now play for Welcome Downs, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, at first, I did not know how Paul Head played. I did not know him at all. But the way that I've seen him, like I did play with him. Let me phrase that. I did play with him at the 600 at LAX under Pelican Paintball, but I did not know how the rest of you played. Um, but the way how he played and handled himself was really good, and having him to play with for the 13 Dogs, it was pretty cool. And then Gary wanted to play, tournament paintball. He wanted to like get started with it, and it was it was perfect for him because he was getting started. He had like a shocker. Now he rocks with a 170R, and then Gary told me, if I'm not mistaken, he told me that he has a friend named Linux, and he wanted to play a three man. So I'm like, oh great! So now um we have now four people. So yeah, we're gonna do great. And so Linux came, and we all bought the jerseys, paid the fee, and this three man was going to rock and roll. Now the title 13 Dogs was not supposed to be the 13 Dogs. It was gonna be something different. A lot of people told me to do 13 Souls, because during the time that I was still trying to make a name for this team, for the three men, it was the incident of those 13 Marines that did not get deployed um, in Afghanistan. And I was so mad that we didn't, that the whole thing about it was so mad, so heartbroken and everything. And I was like, you know what? Let's go with 13 dogs. And it was not because of Team 13, because that was our home field because of Drew at Team 13. No, it was mostly because of I wanted to honor, you know, those um those Marines. I want to honor the men and women who lost their lives, and that's why the 13 dogs came as known as 13 dogs, because it was honoring, you know, men and women in the armed forces. And because of my first initiative was going to be 13 souls, but I didn't want to go that route. That was actually a friend of mine who said about 13 souls, but I didn't want to go that route because it kind of made me feel like an ass. It kind of made me feel like an ass because made me feel like, hey, I harbor souls or something like that. That's how I felt, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to honor these guys. I want to honor, we're going out there not just to have fun and win a tournament, but we're going out there in honor of these men and women. So the day of the tournament that we were playing at Paintball Republic, we we're all dressed in black and blue. That was the theme color. And we were dominating. We were like, I think we were 4-0. We were undefeated. I know one team didn't show up. So we automatically got a win by forfeit. But we were very undefeated. We were undefeated, but we got third place, which was great because, we're just a rat people. We never, we were not an established team. We just put this together. And, you know, we we went undefeated, and it was so awesome. I'm not gonna lie, playing with Lennox, Gary, and Paul, it was pretty fun. And I played with Gary before at LAX before this 3-man, and he is a phenomenal player. He's great playing Snake Side. I hope I see him again soon on the field, as well as Lennox. He's like a beast, and the Dorito, as well as Paul. Paul can do everything. Paul is just like everything. I'm great in communicating. I'm like, I'm very passionate about the sport. So I consider us the dream team because we were undefeated. We were being butt. And we even faced welcome downs. And there was a lot of times that, if y'all don't remember at Paintball Republic, there was some times that, hey, the refs are not experienced and everything, but y'all have to understand, opening a tournament for the first time, you're not going to have the experienced ref. We're not going to have NXL refs. We're not going to have the guys who actually played the tournament level at a new field. So that's why I'm not bashing heads or anything like that. That's how a lot of people were thinking about it, but I didn't think about it like that. We were just undefeated. We just came here to play, and we played our hardest. I mean, like I said, we got third place, but I'd rather third place than no place. And after we got third place, we all talk about, like, let's make this as a, let's travel and stuff like that. And due to that, we picked up a couple of guys. We picked up Kool-Aid, known as Christian, who now plays for Welcome Down. So congratulations, Christian. I hope the best for you, my friend. Um, he at first he's pretty cool. He was pretty cool. I mean, there was times that I didn't show up to events that Paul was hosting, and they were playing as the 13 dogs. I didn't know about, or I just wasn't, my mentality wasn't not there. Um, so, but after that, um, after not um dwelling on, like, hey, how I need to, like, get my team, like, on the roster, let's go play like events. I didn't want to travel, and I kind of was holding people back. And that's why, the main roster, I call them the main guys, the original four, Gary, Paul, and Lennox, they they want to play for like a different team. They want to play a little bit more aggressive. They want to travel. I couldn't travel. I couldn't give them that. So, but that's why I don't have any beef for them to go, going with Welcome Down, because now they're like, you know, the D5 team of Louisiana. They actually um they brought their skills to the test, and I cannot be mad at them 100%. I can never be mad at them for doing what they did. And that was a right choice in my book. I think that was the right choice in my book for them to um go go to the Walcom Downs, jump ship, and find something that would challenge them. Because in all reality, in reality, to me, I feel like, you know, I know that Paul's been playing this for a long time, but in reality, I think I did my part. I feel like I've done my part, which was bringing, Gary and Lennox to tournament paintball, see how it is and how to be on a team. I know Paul has been on the team, so um but those two guys, I feel like I did my part, bringing them into a tournament style level, show them the ropes, and then if someone picks them up and they want to go play somewhere, that's great. I've done my job. And that's why I feel like it. That's why I'm not too mad or too upset about it. And I don't think I ever will be, because now, like I said, those guys, as well as other guys who play for me or been on a team with me, they're going up at a higher level. They want to be up to that standard level. I give them kudos. I am no mad, no disrespect or anything to those guys, because I done my part. And yes, it was short lived. It was very short lived. But, you know, that's paintball, any kind of sports, sometimes your players come and go quickly, but knowing that you done the best you can, you gave them like the spot, the little edge, so they can go and do what they want to do. And that's what I feel like I did. So, I'm very proud of Gary, Lennox, and Paul for accomplishing so many things. And I wish nothing but the best of luck to y'all, because in the end, we're all friends. And, I hope y'all see y'all in the field. And I hope one day we do play a tournament or event together, just like the good old days, or we've even faced each other. It would be awesome to face, y'all again, and you know, just to play to have fun, and just it'll be a great day for that to happen. So, with that in mind, the the transition from the 13 dogs to aces and eights, it was just um me at this point. It was me and Christian. We were the only, I guess, two left that we were still on the team. Of course, we picked up, a couple guys, and um one of those guys was a good buddy of mine, if y'all know, named Mike Woods, who runs for Headhunters. So shout out to you, Mike, um, for being, a great friend, one of my bros. And, Mike, I don't think Mike wanted to play as a speed team at first. He did want to get into speedball, but he was kind of hesitant. But, after a couple weeks, he kind of, he will join. And But I feel like and then we got other guys, like we had this kid named Slater, who was a bad apple. We'll talk about that later on. And it was like we were bringing people in, but I felt like we needed something different, a little something new, something that brings like a unique kind of style. And the idea came from, I was laying down on my bed, and I'm a wrestling fan. I've grew up watching wrestling. I've grew up watching it for a long time, and I was just rewatching some old stuff, and then I watched a few things from TNA, And um one of the things was this wrestling match between Devon, I mean not Devon, Bubba Ray Dudley, or known as Bully Ray, versus Jeff Hardy for the TNA champion in a steel cage match. And the whole thing was going on because of the fact that the Aces and Eights were like this gang. It was like kind of like a gang, biker gang that, you know, going around terrorizing people, striking fear, and you know, and I feel like, to me personally, I wanted an edge. I wanted to be somebody that, hey, on the field, like I may be this nice guy, but when I'm on the field, we're somebody to be feared about. We're, don't be like, hey, you're nothing. Like you're not even worth it. Like you're not anything. And so as that going on, and we're watching it, we also picked up new recruits, or people playing for us. Matt, and then a couple of guys, and Chris Ruiz. If y'all know him, he's now played for Welcome Downs. He was a buddy with Lennox, and sorry about that. He was a ignore all that. I'm sorry. It, he was a buddy of Lennox, and before the transition from them going to Welcome Downs, it was gonna probably be me, Mike and Christian and Slater and Chris. We were all gonna play together, play a team. But when Lennox went to Welcome Down, Chris followed him, which was fine. I mean, it didn't break my heart. I was upset, but it didn't really break my heart. So with that in mind, I was still wanting the edge, because at the end, I was, like I said, I was not upset at first. I was pretty pissed off. I was really, really mad, because here I am, like I'm trying to develop this team, and I'm trying to come up with a good name, and we're losing people left and right. And I was so mad. I was pissed off. And then when I was watching, like back to the wrestling, I was watching and I see Bully Ray faking being a face. He was really a heel, and he was a president. He hit Jeff Hardy with the steel hammer mallet with looking thing they call it. It was just a small gavel. And then it clicked on me and dawned on me just like that. I'm like, aces and eights. Because the whole idea of aces and eights, which I am wearing, means that dead man's hand. It's an old Western thing, if y'all ever heard of it, that if you got dead man's hand, that's basically two pairs, but dead man's hand. That's the Reaper's hand. Hence the reason why there's the Reaper on there. And that kind of made me feel like striking fear. Like I'm striking fear to everyone. And then the whole idea came in. Like, yeah, let's do aces and eights. And then this, when I was listening to a lot of songs to get me the idea of aces and eights. And then of course back to wrestling, this song came up, which I'm about to play in a minute, but it was striking fear. It was like, someone like, this is a team that you want to face us. You want to give us a chance. So give me a minute. just that song in general was striking fear, not to the wrestling, but I wanted to strike fear or just, hey, this is not a team to be messing with. Now, we did play tournaments. We did play some tournaments, some three men's, and um there was tournaments that we failed un you know, just horribly. We failed like really bad. But we rocked again with Paintball Republic, the three man, but that story was kind of a little crazy. Um there was a lot of dispute. I don't know what happened during that time because I wasn't there. I was actually at home because I had to deal with stuff and I couldn't make it to the tournament. Well, there was just a lot of drama going on, and it was mostly because of Slater, for what I've heard, or this and that. And it was just so much drama. The Aces and A's came in second place, but we also had Tyler and Q playing for us. So shout out to y'all too, especially Q playing with me, Christian, and Mike at the 3 minute LEX, the Die Hard tournament, which was fun. We came in seventh, but it was just fun. It was like, hey, we're going really good. But the thing about that the Aces and Eights, like we became, I thought personally, we can be this team that's like feared. Like we can actually do well with this bypass. Like we can actually do well. However, there was a lot of problems within the team. And one of the reason why is because no one was going to show up for practice. And I'm not disregarding any person or um Christian, like anybody or anybody who was on the team Aces and A's and they lived far away. I was never mad because you can't make it this drive to Slidell all the damn time. But there was no in between fields that we could meet up at because during the time guerrilla warfare was shut down, and it was just it was just getting crazy. And as well as with money situation, because you know there was a lot of times where we were not putting the money together. We were not financially putting the money together as a team. We felt like we were going after ourselves. That's what I felt like. Like, I'm running this team, and, there was so much stress running this team, trying to get this team in a good shape. But it was like no one was want to be behind the ship. Like, I understand a lot of people wanted to be behind the ship, but there was no effort. There was a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, I just got sick of it. I was so tired. I was just drained out. My girlfriend even said to me that, you're drained out. Like, she looked in my eyes and know how much stress I was putting onto myself trying to keep this team, as a team. And it hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It really hurt. Um, folding this team, and because it was not just TNA wanting for this team to be an Aces and Ace, it was also a late friend of mine who passed away. May he rest in peace. He loved the Aces and Eights, just the theme of it. And I was doing it for him as well. Um, so the backstory about this is that both teams of the 13 Dogs and the Aces and Eights were very short lived. But, I guess you could say this was a a milestone. Like this was kind of like something that I needed to face in my career, saying that hey, I did try doing this and didn't work out. So the point is that, you know, it's okay to succeed, but it's all right to fail. And there, I did failed a lot of running 2 teams, and it just didn't work out well. But am I bitter about it? No, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter whatsoever. If other players or the members of the Aces and A's went out there to go find a different team and play for a different team, good for them. Please do so. Keep on playing paintball, but play for a team that's closer to you, closer to your house, knowing that you can drive, and just go out there and have fun. And I guess the point is that I got big headed, which I take full blame for that. I think I did get big headed without thinking about the possibilities and actually trying to figure out what can we do. Because when I said in the group message, I say, look, guys, Aces and A's are over with. We're not a functional team. We're not putting money out there. We're not being as one. And lo and behold, we were done. Aces and Ace was folded. The beginning of 2022, we folded the team. And well, not beginning of 2022, sorry. It was the beginning of I think it was actually in summer of 2022. So, and I'm not gonna lie, it did suck for a while. It did suck because you know not having a team, it did suck for a while. Not having your own team, bunch of friends and everything, but after a while, when I did folded the cards and just say, the aces and A's are done, it was such a breath of fresh air. And I know that sounds selfish of me, but you know, it was such a breath of fresh air just to come out of it and just be like, now I'm a free agent. Now I could play for a team, not on, not like not running a team. I can play as a team on a team and just be me. And that's why, I still contact some of the people who are still part of the Aces and A's or the 13 Dogs. Still talk to them, see if they are how they're doing and everything. Um, Especially Mike, because that guy's me and him are like this. He's my one of my best buddies, so I got nothing but respect for him. And hopefully he could join the Savages. We don't know, but the thing about it is this: that do I regret forming two teams in the year 2021 and the 2022 era? I I do regret it because of the fact it was not the right time. I think the time would have been there if I had more players or people who actually will be practicing. We had solid um situation. We had solid, you know, communication, which we didn't. But you live, you learn, and if you try again, you come back having the knowledge and you come back knowing what to do. That way you don't freak out, and that way you know, you don't expect the unexpected. You just go with the flow. But you do expect the unexpected. But it's all a learning. Every day, we're gonna end this video with a learning lesson. Every day, you know, you win, you lose, but you learn. And that was one of the hardest lessons I have learned, running these two teams. You know, we have our successes, but we also have our failures, and that those failures is what we learn. It feels good winning a tournament or coming in a tournament, playing all you got, and you lost. but the feeling of, you know, what you accomplish, man, that's something you can't get rid of. And the memories you made, it's just something you can't get rid of. Now, will the aces and eights come back one day? Possibly. There's a possibility. Maybe the 13 dogs will play again. Maybe the aces and eights will play again. Time will tell. But I leave this video with a message, and is this: don't be afraid to try something. To try something new. Do not be afraid of it. You may failed at that something, but if you really want to try again, take the leap of faith and try again. And if you don't like it anymore, well, then it's not meant to be. But if you succeeded, that's a great feeling. That's great that you succeeded. Now let's keep on going. But it's okay to fail every once in a while in your life. It's okay. You just get up, lick your wounds, brush off your dirt, and just try again.